Well, it is Thursday, so you already know what time it is. Today, what does it mean to play for this badge? Because some of these players are taking playing for Manchester United for granted. Again, I ask, what does it mean to play for this badge? Are you going to give your all for this badge, or are you just going to show up for work, do what you have to do, and then go home? Right? If your boss is asking you for more, demanding for more, if your boss is raising your standards than the previous boss, are you going to sulk and complain? Let's hear what the panel has to say, but let's get into this here. Good evening and happy Friday Eve. It is 5 o'clock here in Toronto and it is 6 o'clock somewhere in the Caribbean. I know it's 6 o'clock in Trinidad, but it is me. It is Big Phil. I am the host for tonight and welcome to the United Hour. As usual, I will never ever be doing this here by myself. I have the one and only President Chad, and then I'm joined by special guest Dion. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, man, can't complain.
Same here, can't complain. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. If you're now tuning into the United Hour, please like, please share, and subscribe. Before we get into today's topics, I want to ask both you guys a question. If somebody at Manchester United, a top shotter at Manchester United, had to call you up and say, I want you to play for just 6 months, what would be your reaction, one? And two, what does it mean to be a United supporter and to play at Manchester United? I can start with you first, Dion. You know, what does it mean to play for this badge here, Manchester United? What does it mean to you?
And I think that would be one of the the proudest days of my life. Those people that are very dear to me know that after the creator is Manchester United. I'm a real easygoing person. The only thing riles me up is Manchester United playing bad football and anything negative around the club. So that would be an honor. I might just be able to make 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes, Fergie time, but that would be an honor.
Before I come to President Chad, I can ask you one more question, Dion. Do you think there are people around the world, doesn't matter if it's in North America and the Caribbean, do you think there are people around the world that will give an arm and a leg to make just an appearance on the bench for Manchester United?
Well, yeah, I guess so. The statement, I'm a leg, but I understand what you mean here.
Yeah, not literally, because if I give a leg to play for Manchester United, that means literally I can't play, right? So yeah. But you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
President Chad, same question to you. First question: what does it mean to play for Manchester United?
Well, I believe in staying in your lane. I haven't played ball in a long time, and since I broke my leg, but let's just say the marketing department of Manchester United called and they said, hey, we want you on board, we want you, inside working in the administrative aspect of the thing or the back room. I am not playing tomorrow. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, if they told me they said the tickets are ready, I'm not playing today. Tonight. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to reach to work late at all. I can assure you that every day I'm there early. I hit them the Cristiano Ronaldo are opening the office and are the last one to leave in the evening. I carrying work home. I would be so thrilled. I'd be so happy to be part of the United team in a more tangible, in a more realistic way. Going to the office, going into the trophy, going to walk through the museum every day, going in the trophy room. It'll be like a kid Christmas morning, and I'm not just like a kid Christmas morning the first day on the job. I like a kid Christmas morning every single day. You know what I mean? And if it's a 6-month contract, a 1-year contract, I am excited to go to work every day, every single day. Because you're doing something you love at something that you love. That is a very rare combination to find in this world. So that would make me ecstatic. And I think most supporters would feel the same way in whatever capacity. If you get a call to be a water boy at Manchester United, Phil, big man as you are, if you get a call and you say the next game, I think it's what, Monday? Monday, and they say we want you, Phil, to come and be a water boy in the stadium. What are you doing?
For free.
Well, I stopping this podcast halfway and I gone. You gotta find somebody else to host. Sorry.
That is what we talk about. That is what true supporters, that is what people who have a passion for the club is about.
It's true. And just to I won't use the arm and leg analogy, right? But with the mentality you just said, President Chad, do you think there are other people, not only in Trinidad, not only the Caribbean, but across the world that will probably be on a plane tonight or even tomorrow if they're going to be associated with Manchester United, if they're Man United fans?
Boy, it have people would empty the bank account to pay for their own flight across if they could just get that, be part of the club in that kind of way, in a direct way like that. You making true. But that men doing that, they're telling the wife, hey, you're missing for 6 months, I go on.
Easily.
I definitely agree. You're gonna say something, Dion?
No, easily. I totally agree.
Perfect. No, I definitely share the same views as both you guys. But do you guys think that today's current crop of players, starting 11, the bench, do you think they share the same mentality as all three of us here on the United Hour panel? I can start with you, President Chad.
We have two challenges. One, the culture of the club has been allowed to erode. I heard a story of, where is the Memphis Depay when he first came. He rolled up in training, real kitted out and like a Gucci outfit. And he was driving his I think his Rolls Royce or his Mercedes, whatever. And Wayne Rooney tell him park that somewhere else. And don't ever come to training dressed like that again. Don't ever drive that vehicle to training. Now don't get me wrong, players at the club had Lamborghinis and whatever. But you now come, is a status thing, the kind of vehicle you're driving into training with. Wayne Rooney was a senior at the time. And I think the club captain and told him, yeah, you don't roll in here like that. We don't play them kind of star games. You ain't establish yourself at Manchester United to be able to drive in that kind of vehicle and walk around like if you own the place. And that culture is not there. I mean, let me ask you all a question. Serious question. If Jadon Sancho was to pull up in his Phantom, I don't know that he has a Phantom, but let's just say, if Jadon Sancho was to pull up in his Phantom, dressed like how Paul Pogba does be dressed in all of these silver Adidas silly kits and come to training, which player at Manchester United is going to tell him, don't ever come to training without a game and go and take off that rubbish you're wearing? I mean, who's going to do it? Harry Maguire? Laugh at flicking Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire can't tell anybody anything. You performing crap on the field, you understand what I'm saying? And the standards have dropped over time. So that's
it's almost like you're saying that there's no leadership at Manchester United.
There isn't any leadership.
I
That's
disagree
one
with you.
challenge. And just now,
I
before you
disagree.
go there, Dion. And the second challenge we have is culture. You find, it's nice for us to talk about um, Roy Keane and talk about some of the old captains of the past and the way they used to, the professionalism and the culture. But let me be real, the culture of the 80s and the 90s and the early two, that is not the culture among young people now. There's a different culture. So we have the club culture that has eroded, and we could always talk about why that is because I could pinpoint exactly why and when and how the culture eroded. And then you have the culture with the young people that, it's just a different time we live in. When you look at the kind of pictures, Paul Pogba is what, 26, 28?
28, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Paul Pogba is 28 years old. When you watch Paul Pogba's
28.
pictures, when you watch, him in the limo and how he goes to dinner with his wife and the child, I mean, the man is just like a 16-year-old.
But that's the man,
And
that's the man lifestyle.
but there's no point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A 28-year-old in the 90s is not a 28-year-old now. So we have a difference. So you have the club culture eroding, and then you have societal culture just being different. And
No, no.
I think those are the
Yeah.
two issues.
Yeah, not only has football evolved over the last 10 to 15 years, but society, culture, the way people dress. 15 years ago, people was Instagram and social media even invented. Well, I know Facebook was invented in 2003, right? So it probably, I won't do my math, but anyway, social media has definitely an impact on how we, not even football fans, but also we, whoever's doing football podcasts, whoever's playing on the field, it has impacted us in some way, right? Dion, you said you disagreed with something with President Chad, what he said, right? Can you tell us what you disagree with, and then also see if you can transition your thoughts into if the players are on that level of playing for the badge for Manchester United?
Oh, well, Chad and I are close. We, speak a lot. So, I mean, he knows like, I'm a salmon. I always go against the grain with a lot of stuff. Plus, I view things differently, respectfully.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I disagree that there's no leadership at the club, right? I believe there's leadership at the club. I look at certain players and I see leadership. Well, apart from the last like 3 weeks, I saw it in Bruno, but he portrayed a lot of leadership skills. But then within the last 3 games, his body language, so to speak, and the way he operated, he showed me that, I mean, he's human. For the first time, Bruno is a human being. He's not a monster, he's not an animal, he's a human being. Right? And he showed that he has, I guess, similarities to Christie, greatest player of all time, with regards to wearing his emotion on his sleeves. You could see that he is a leader. He's a born leader. He came to lead and he plays for the badge. He came to prove points. He came to win stuff. With regards to Christie as well, where it goes without saying, he's a leader. Even I see leadership skills in Varane. I see leadership skills in Matic. Right? I see it. And David De Gea as well. Right? And into the other part of the question, yes, there are some players that play for the badge. Same players I just listed, you can see they play for the badge. Even Fred, as much as Fred is not good enough to be the water boy in my club, he plays for the badge. And that I will take that any day. Not settling, but I will take that any day over someone who's just here for a paycheck. And we were speaking previously about the evolution in football now with the influence of social media and things. Everything has changed. I mean, now we know players Chad reference Pogba going out with the limousine and how he's dressed with his family. Years ago, we couldn't see what Roy Keane was doing. We couldn't see what the greats before. I'm not a person like big with the history of the 60s and 70s and thing, but we couldn't see that. So now, all we had was on the field. A good game,
Correct.
a bad game, that's what we judge them on. That's what we judge them based on. I mean, even I will say the last of that class was like Zinedine Zidane and them. We didn't know what Zidane used to do off this field. I didn't know his wife looked like, his kids, nothing. After that phase, after that generation, it's like we know everything about everybody. I mean, some players are not on that, and some clubs don't really allow that. Like City players, they don't really see much things behind the scenes. Only Foden, because I mean he young, but so it's a lot of what Chad saying with the culture of the club. But I think the club has let players get a lot of leeway, and now there's a there's a disconnect with regards to hierarchy and respect. There's not a figure who they could say, well, you know what, this person I could get in problems, I'll be fine, I mightn't play, whatever, whatever. They understand that the club is about generating income and their popularity assisting in helping the club generate income, so they will do what they have to do.
So you're
Well,
saying you're saying yeah. I'll get you, President Chad. So Dion, you're saying that is more of a friends thing. There's no like I guess father figure or somebody to like tell you to pull up your socks or give you a slap across the head or pull you by the ear, right?
Yeah, it's every man for himself. Or it's a clique thing.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
how I see it. From what I see.
President Chad.
I just want to take 2 minutes to share what I consider the plotter graph of the devolution, the de-evolution of
Yes.
the situation at Manchester United. When Sir Alex left, he left a big vacuum. Sir Alex was a tether to the past in terms of culture of the club. And, because of everything he had won and the stature he had in the game, players and people respected him. And when he left, there was a large vacuum left at Manchester United. And then when you had a new coach coming in with totally new backroom staff, they were as new to the culture of Manchester United as Fellaini. You understand? They were new to it. And then you had Ed Woodward. And Ed Woodward, from what we hear and what we know, he used to he started this situation with the patients running the hospital. He started talking to players and getting players' an opinion on the manager. And he needed to do that because he was not a football mind. He didn't know football inside out. So he had to talk to people. And then also too, we had to remember for a man whose job was being in banking, you know, you sitting down next to people like Wayne Rooney and Ibrahimovic. These are people that are stars to you. You understand? You're not a football person, you're not accustomed to rubbing shoulders with these kind of people. So yeah, you might be the CEO of the club, right? You might be the big boy writing, your name might be writing the checks, right? But
Correct.
you looking up to these guys. And from that time, you find that you start having, when we had the situation with Paul Pogba and Mourinho, we all
Hmm.
knew that Paul Pogba was going to win that fight because those of us who would have heard behind the scenes, that Edward Ward came down and talked to Paul Pogba and asked Paul Pogba opinion and why you asking a player opinion on the
Also
manager?
managers are more expendable than players, as we know.
Of
Yeah, but
course.
that don't mean that you give players that kind of leeway. That culture. I don't know if you all remember when Wayne Rooney wanted to leave and the club gave him made him the highest paid player of the club.
Put in two
And
transfer
then
requests.
and then the manager went in and said, "Hey, I am the person who running the show here, no player should get more money than me. You all aware of that? That's Sir Alex
I
went
heard
and
about
told the
it.
board that, right?
I heard, I
So
heard, I heard about it.
Yeah.
right, so no player can get more money than me, and the club acquiesced to that. Could you see that happening since Sir Alex left? You
Yeah,
know,
but
players running the roost right now. Well,
Chad,
I don't know about
um,
right now, but
Chad, times have
players have
changed,
too much
buddy.
influence.
Times have changed, buddy. Times have changed. I am younger than everyone here, and I'm telling you, times have changed. And not to cut what you're drawing for us, but just remember times have changed, and you are someone, you are in the field of change. You're in the field of ever changing. That's your job, that's your background. And you see one day this is trending, another day this is trending. You know that more than me.
No,
You
I
understand?
know that, and that is why I highlighted the youth and the evolution of the youth. And as Phil, spoke about social media and things are different. But that doesn't mean that you are a businessman. You would not let your employees have greater influence on the organization than somebody you put in charge as a supervisor. That
That
is
is
that that is craziness.
yeah.
And that is what we have allowed. That is what Ed Woodward, unintentionally, I don't think it was his intention,
I agree
but
with what you're saying, buddy.
because of his lack of understanding of that structure. You come from a banking scenario, and now you're in a football scenario, and you don't understand culture, you don't understand football culture, you don't understand, and you change the dynamics. And now Ralph Ragnick has come in now, and he's in a situation where it's like, what really going on here?
All right. But to just to engage you a bit, if it's cool at you, Big Phil.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
right. I saw the problem started when there was no succession planning after Fergie. And I know nobody don't like people that talk about Fergie. Fergie is the almighty Fergie, and I have the utmost respect for him. But the club dropped the ball with that. He was to leave the year before. We ended up coming second by points. He came back the extra year. I still have a roti in a microwave somewhere because I didn't eat that day at all. Right? When City won on goal
I can
difference.
tell. I can cut you for 10 seconds, Dion. The worse
Okay.
this club does, the worse this club does, the better it makes Sir Alex Ferguson. The better it makes Sir Alex Ferguson looks. You can continue now.
Don't let some people here saying that, they might strip you of it, your nice jacket you're
Nah,
wearing.
nah. Because a lot of people don't realize how big the shoes Sir Alex Ferguson. Whoever comes into this position as Manchester United manager, coach, whatever, they got
Big
some
shoes.
massive shoes to fill. That is
Massive
how
shoes.
great Sir Alex Ferguson did a job at Manchester
Yeah.
United. I
And
told you,
Yeah,
and
but
and you,
I have no problem telling people. When I found out the news at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday that Sir Alex Ferguson was leaving the club, I shed a tear because I remember I was studying for an exam. I was pulling an all nighter. Started, went to bed the night before around 7, woke up around 1 in the morning, and I started studying. And it was going so good until I went on my laptop. I started to play Idol, and I saw Sir Alex Ferguson was leaving the club, and I was like, I'm done. But anyway, let me get some comments in because we have a few comments here. Thanks for joining, Jeffrey. Good evening to you guys. Jeffrey is also saying Miroslav Klose spoke about this years ago. I think that's what he was referring to, what President Chai said earlier in the program. Good afternoon, Martin Phillip. Greg B, thanks for joining. He is
hey, Greg, how
saying
you doing, buddy?
player power has become something that has gotten out of control. True. Greg B is also saying the standards dropped as soon as Sir Alex Ferguson left. That is very, very true. And I think Greg B is agreeing with Dion when he says more like the inmate is running the asylum, right? It's almost like
Yeah.
you free up all the inmates and all the inmates start to take over, right?
You missed
So
it over each
um
other.
yeah. So let's get into some of the topics we have today. Right now, I'm gonna transition from what you guys saying to the topics that we have. Right. Oh, there's more comments. My bad. Let me go through these last three comments. Greg B saying there still has to be a pecking order. Woodward's actions have dismantled a lot of standards. True. Yeah, and Jeffrey, I don't know if he agreed with Greg B or he agreed with what somebody said, but yeah. And then Clive Jack, thanks for joining. He says Manchester United needs to get out of the Fergie era now. Otherwise, ego would have United facing League Two. I agree with you, but
Clive Jack when you seen this?
On StreamYard, I can't see it. I'll have to go on Facebook. I guess you can tell me what it is.
Well, Clive Jack is wearing a Barcelona jersey from you know.
A Barcelona jersey, okay.
He's wearing a Barcelona jersey.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's a Barcelona fan.
I don't know. The man, somebody buy the man a Barcelona jersey. I don't know.
Clive Jack, I do better than that, buddy.
Because Barcelona ain't doing Barcelona ain't doing much better than Manchester United.
The man said was a gift. I know that somebody buy the jersey for the man. I sure he buy that for himself.
Sure. Nobody can buy any jersey for me that is not a Manchester United.
Well, you see, some people, as far as they're concerned, hey, you like football, and they just buy you something football. You never get something from somebody that just football oriented, and you're like, but it's just I just support this club.
No, but I wouldn't wear a Barcelona jersey.
I got an Argentina t-shirt already.
And you don't support Argentina?
No, that time Di Maria was playing for us, and I was kind of happy for him, but I don't like him at all right now. You know that. Big up yourself.
Anyway, let me get into these topics today, right? Clive Jack said it was a gift, and you know what, Clive? You tuning into the United Hour is a gift from you to us, right? So we don't mind that, right?
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Now let's go into some of these topics right now, based on what we have been talking about for the last 25 to 27 minutes, right? It's kind of led to something trending with regards to the exodus of 17 first team Man United players who are currently unhappy with the culture that Ralph Rangnick has implemented at Manchester United. Paul Pogba, Cavani, Van de Beek, Jesse Lingard, Tony Martial, Eric Bailly, Dean Henderson, Matic, Mata, and that's just a few of the players to call that are unhappy, right? 17 is quite a large number, right? But I can start with you, Dion, again. What do you think of that per se, right? It's almost like Ralph is having these players come out of their, let's say, comfort zone, and he's wanting the players to do better for themselves. Like, it's almost like me telling you, if you don't want the best for yourself, I will enforce you to have the best come out for you, right? What are your thoughts on that, Dion, per se?
A point I was going to make, and before we transition, but it's still relevant to this topic, is that long ago, players used to pride themselves on titles. Now, players pride themselves on their salaries. Right?
Okay.
Tough players very comfortable without winning anything. In my opinion, they operate like that. They cool. I ain't win nothing. Whatever. The top people have rings.
That's why I meant going to China.
I was just about to say that. Go to China, go to Saudi Arabia, go to Qatar, go to Russia. Oscar did it. Samuel Eto'o did it. These guys, yeah.
I mean, but Oscar did it after he played, for Chelsea. Samuel Eto'o.
Yeah, but Oscar was still young though. He wasn't veteran.
You know how these Brazilians are. You know how Brazilians are. They came. Well, Oscar didn't come from poverty when after reading his backstory, but most of these South Americans players, they say because they come from, that type of poverty that all they study is money. And I mean, there are some players who believe in titles. So to stay on the topic, I don't really read in too much to what like the rumors and thing. Like most people in the group know that about me because I could just make a fake profile and type certain things. And some of the names that call not really making sense. Like I can't really see Matic complaining. I can see Cavani complaining about nothing. Cavani getting to play. So I take these things as a grain of salt. I know for sure that the usual suspects, Paul Pogba is my favorite player at the club. Well, was, right? Before Christie arrived. And he tends to have a bad thing. And I mean, he brought that on himself. He's flamboyant. He likes to talk about himself. And
Dion gone?
I was hoping it was just Mike that freeze, but I think we know the direction that Dion was going in.
Yeah,
You know that
talking about being flamboyant and being like
we
this
could
sort of.
expect probably he was going to say Van der Beek as well. You could see Van der Beek being disgruntled. We know Martial wants to go. So even though the figure of 17 players might be off, the reality is there are definitely disgruntled players there. I mean, if people who tuned into this program last week, it's not available anymore because both Facebook and YouTube would have taken down the video. But people who tuned into this program last week, I spoke about a bust up in the dressing room and players being disgruntled at Ralph and cliques forming. Before this hit all the major, news outlets in the UK, we spoke about that right here in the United Hour. Excuse me. So so yeah, this is it may not be 17 players wanting to leave, but there are definite situations and upheavals going on in the dressing room, and the atmosphere in the dressing room is very
Sorry
poor.
about that,
I want to
James.
add one. Yeah, no worries. I want to ask one question. When last have any of you all seen Bruno Fernandez
Bruno Fernandez, what?
buck teeth?
Brock T?
Buck teeth.
What does Buck T mean?
His buck teeth.
It's butt teeth?
Why you fix it?
All
You
right.
fix it, you fix
Let
it.
me let me trans. Let me ask another question. When last have you seen Bruno Fernandez smile? I
Oh,
haven't seen Bruno Fernandez smile in over a month.
true.
Bruno Fernandez wears, as Dion said, wears his heart on his sleeve, and Bruno Fernandez has been walking around forlorn and depressed for a long time. Even before
Yeah.
When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was under fire, Bruno Fernandez has been looking not like himself, and it shows and also in his performances. And it is clear that these players, there's psychologically something is wrong with them. The atmosphere in the dressing room sucks, and it's unfortunate that
But do
Ralph
you think it's
had to
because
come and deal with it.
do you think it's since Christie arrived at the club, Bruno started with that vibe?
I
I
said
saw
right here in this
Clive
space,
mention.
I said right here in this space that psychologically, there's a big debate on whether Cristiano Ronaldo is the problem. And I wouldn't say Cristiano Ronaldo is the problem on the pitch because I realize we've stopped playing Ronaldo ball and we playing Manchester United ball right now. But Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah.
is a problem. There's a direct link between
Yes.
what you were speaking about in terms of Bruno's leadership abilities tanking and the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo. For some reason, people like Bruno Fernandez and others seem to feel small under Cristiano Ronaldo's shadow, and it is affecting them psychologically and affecting their performance. So, do I think Cristiano is a problem? Yes, but I don't mean his football on the field is a problem. I mean
His
psychologically,
presence.
he
Yeah.
has caused, he has added to whatever challenges and upheavals in the dressing room. I mean, the fallout that was publicized in the media between Cristiano Ronaldo and Greenwood. when we were hearing rumors about Greenwood wanting to leave. That was because he and Cristiano had a bust up in the dressing room. That happened. So these are things that so Cristiano's presence has had a negative effect in the dressing room. That is not even an opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, we could see it. That is a
it
fact.
had a direct negative, it had a direct negative effect to Greenwood because before that, Greenwood was the man. Greenwood was the striker on top there with Cavani switching out, but Greenwood played even if Greenwood wasn't playing, he might always
Yeah,
play on the
if we
right
look at
side.
the first, if we look at
For
the
sure,
first
for
three
sure, for
games of the
sure.
season, when Cavani wasn't available, Greenwood played in the nine and he scored in all the games. you
Every
know,
game, every game. He was in my fantasy team. He scored.
So you're
You know,
so it's
so
so I could put another twist in it. Let's say we don't start Ronaldo for the rest of January, hypothetically speaking. It'll never happen. But let me say Ronaldo holds bench for the rest of January, and we see Cavani and Greenwood start for the rest of the fixtures in January. Do you think we will be playing better? Do you think the team will be more uplifted per se?
I will let Dion start this.
that's a real kind of ticklish thing. I mean, if you say you take Cavani off and play Greenwood and Cavani, I mean, I could answer that question. But to answer your question, no, because I mean, regardless to regardless to Christie, regardless to his Portuguese people, they see they have a camaraderie, you see they sit together, they always celebrate together, whatever, right? And you saw the Lord got a chance or the low, however you pronounce his name. And
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, he's a better right wing back going forward than Wan Bissaka. And you saw the you know the abilities with having Christie there on the field because it works negatively and it works positively. At the end of the day, it depends on mindset. If you have a strong mindset and someone comes to host the podcast with you, but they are a star from some radio station or somewhere, you can look at it one way like you know what this person is gonna put more eyes on me, either pronounce stuff better, either sit at a better posture, I have to, rise to the occasion. But if you have a scarcity mentality, then you'll start slumping, you'll be like, he ain't give me a chance at all. So it depends on the mentality of the players.
Now, by Exodus, I'm gonna say that between this month, January, and summer, there are a good set of players that are not going to be renewing their contract. I can possibly say Jesse Lingard is one, Donny van der Beek is another. Eric Babe, even though he did renew his contract last summer, he may look for a way out because not enough playing time. Paul
Don't you have
Pogba,
players on his contract still?
yeah, but Donny Van Beek isn't getting any playing time, right? And he wants to show his ability, right? Can you imagine sitting down week in, week out and seeing Fred and Scott playing ahead of you? I definitely want to leave as well too, right? Martial's head has not been at Manchester United for the last probably 10
2
months,
years?
right? Yeah. So I mean, he definitely is
Yeah.
leaving either this January or he's leaving in the summer, right? Nemanja Matic is in his final, I think, 6 months of a contract. So is Jesse Lingard, as I mentioned, but Fred and Diego
Mata,
Dallo. Yeah, one matter.
Mata,
I'd ever consider one matter. He just there taking up space, right? He
and
definitely will
earning
go
a
as
lot of
well.
money.
Yeah, he is. But also Fred and Diego Dallo are entering their last year of the contract, right? And I know from past that United don't let players run down to the last year. They will look within 2 years out and say, you know what? Let me give you a 3-year contract. Let me give you a 4-year contract, right? So it is possible that a good set of players may be leaving either this winter transfer window or this summer transfer window that's going to be coming up right after the season. Now, this will probably transition into the next topic I have for you guys, right? But I just want to read something here, because obviously we mentioned that there's excess and the players aren't happy, right? So what I'm gonna read here is, some of the players are depressed by Ole leaving. They're depressed by Ronaldo coming, and by Ralph wanting them actually to work 8 hours a day like normal people, right? By not getting enough playing time, and the list goes on. So the one thing I don't hear, like, these players being depressed about, is losing, right? And as you guys have seen this season, we got battered, we got destroyed by the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, Watford. And how come
Watford
these players? Yeah, Watford. Yeah, I think Watford beat us, what, 4-love or 4-1. Yeah,
for
and
one,
then how come?
for one.
Yeah, how come no one is, like, quote unquote depressed about that, right? Some of the players hold their head down, but that's about it, right? Because they know they're going to get a fat paycheck at the end of the week. But just to sum it up, it's poor performance after poor performance, right? And you're not depressed about that, right? Because in my opinion, if you lose a game, you're depressed. And the way to fix that is by playing better the next game. But we're seeing performance after performance after performance that's been poor, poor, poor. So I don't think these players are depressed, right? At the end of the day, if you can't get fired up to play for Manchester United, then you have to go. All right. And that's something we probably alluded to earlier in this podcast, right? But to transition to the next topic, right? I just read that Manchester United will be granting Ralph some transfer funds for this month, right? So it seems that we may be looking to buy a couple of players this January transfer window, right? Um, Man United has always been linked with every manja, every football player across the globe,
Phil,
right?
before you start to talk about who we linked with,
Yep.
I just want to say something concerning. I heard that and I wasn't happy. And it's not because I don't know, like everybody else, we need players in our midfield, right? We may need to upgrade at right back. We have Cavani leaving in the summer. We're not sure where we're going to end up. I don't think Ronaldo going to stay if we don't finish top four. So we might need a striker. We have Martial, and so at least we have Martial and Cavani going. We need a striker. You know what I mean? It's not that the
Correct.
club don't have needs. You know why I'm not happy when I heard that? Because I am looking at the culture of Manchester United right now, and I am thinking I don't want to bring no young, hungry player into this dressing room with these players, and they will get infected.
You're correct.
Because
Yeah.
I am sorry, like everybody else, I love CR7, but he come and he infect Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez has been a different person in a negative sense since Cristiano Ronaldo has come. And I don't need young players who are going to be looking up to the likes of Paul Pogba, who are going to be looking up to the likes of Bruno Fernandez and Cristiano Ronaldo coming and getting infected. I want to see, I don't mind us getting players in it. But for me to get excited about us getting players, I need to see players leave. I need to see Jesse leave at least. Um, we need to see players exiting.
Yep.
And if I see players leaving and players coming, I will be good. If we just have players coming,
I would like to see players being sold.
what they
I
coming to
would
Yeah.
like
do?
to see players being sold. I would like to see players being sold.
But
I repeat
how
this.
can we sell how can we sell players beyond with the ridiculous salaries that they're on?
Well, I mean that's a fault of the club, and is either and that's the
Another
thing. The
another
players
fault
have the
of Edward
power.
Ward.
The players have the power, and I mean it's more prevalent in our club, but the players have the power. You seeing players literally running down the contracts, players looking at you like you can say what you want. What injury Pogba have? Pogba did a surgery on his ankle last year. What injury Pogba really have?
He picked up a thigh injury when he was
Why
on
can't
training with
Pogba?
France.
What's the interesting thing with Paul Pogba? I will never question a man who say he not fit to play, right? I would never question. The one thing I can say about Paul Pogba is his injuries seem to be perfectly timed. He never has injuries when it
Perfectly
have
too.
international football to play. When if France have
No.
football to play, Paul Pogba always available. Anytime it have no international football, something does go wrong with Paul Pogba. Now, that might just be coincidence. That might just be coincidence. I might have
It's almost like
no.
Neymar. It's almost like Neymar and Champions League. That round of 16 Champions League, Neymar is never available. The guy went and party with his sister for her birthday, and he's injured. And I'm like, you're trying to tell me you do that 3 years in a row, Neymar? Come on. But
We
no,
have a player in
Dion,
the club. We have a player in the club.
What Dion
Yeah.
said is true. We got to sell some players, right? Because let's be real, none of our players have any resale value, and by that I mean we won't make a profit off of them, right? I cannot remember the last time we sold a player and we made a profit off of
The
them.
benefits of selling players right now is, or even players
Lukaku.
leaving, like Jesse and
Lukaku.
Pogba and Matic and Mata. The
Lukaku, yeah,
benefit, the benefit of that is the wage.
correct,
Paul
yeah,
Pogba. Let's just deal with those four players I just called. If Paul Pogba doesn't renew,
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard leaves, Matic and Mata leaves.
Donny Van de Beek,
You know, those four players alone is almost $1 million a week because Paul is on three something, right?
375.
not 375. Paul is on 275. He wants
Two
400.
seventy five. Sorry, right. He's on two seventy
Oh.
five. Then you have
Okay.
Jesse who is on I think 125.
Yeah,
Then you have Mata who's on
Witness
150,
350. Yeah.
right?
Witness
And
350.
then you have Matic who is probably on over 100 as well.
yeah.
So you're talking about almost $700,000, four players, right? And none of them, well, except for Paul Pogba, we're going to miss. If Matic, Mata, and Lingard, we're not even seeing Mata and Lingard play, period. If these guys never play for Manchester again,
Where it says there we should what should Manchester United fans expect from incoming? Yeah, because it was announced today that Ed Woodward will be leaving at the end of January, and then officially February 1st that Richard Arnold will be taking over, right? But I want to put a positive spin on this here, guys, because that's why I chose this topic here now, right? I want you guys to think. Now that Ralph has been given quote unquote the green light to spend money this January, who would you bring into Manchester United? I want you guys to think about that. While you guys are thinking, I'm going to go through some comments, right? Another comment from Clive. Guys, do you feel we would be more dangerous with CR7 and Cavani up top or Cavani and Greenwood? That's a very good question. I am going to probably go for, in terms of what Ralph wants to play, in terms of what Ralph wants to play, I am going to say probably Cavani and CR. If Cavani does his pressing, right? But anyway, let's go through some more comments. And to everybody who is now tuning in, please like, please subscribe, and please share. This is the United Hour on a Thursday, and the question is, who would you look to bring into January to Manchester United? Ralph has quote unquote been given the green light to spend some money this January. So not only to the panel, but in the comments, the viewers, who would you like to see Manchester United buy in January? Right? Clive is saying Cavani and Greenwood connect better. Greenwood plays selfish around CR. That is true.
that's true.
Clive Jack is also saying Donny would want to leave because of being fooled. Yep, I agree. Plus, Boo Bagka, Zagadou. I know Zagadou.
I think is Ugo Samari talking about.
Okay, I know Zagadou. Yeah, I think he's a centre back for Dortmund. I think. Neves,
Neves.
steamy rumors. Yep, for sure. Thank you, David, for joining. Good evening, United family, for sure. Clive Jack is saying, Manchester United is the only club in the world with 18 million Westinghouse fridge that blowing hot air. Ha!
Facts.
Oh man. Kristen Dalrymple, thanks for joining. He is saying Basuma. That is a very good show. Very, very good show. Right? I'll give my input on who I would like to see as well if we had to sign somebody in January. And I guess you guys are. I don't know if you guys want to take Champions League Cup tie into consideration. Up to you guys, right? David Gitton is saying Man United needs to drop some weight and take on some new talent. Just deadwood sitting in the squad. I think Dion said that. I think Chad said that. I think all of us have that, right? There are some deadwood players in this squad. If we get rid of them, it frees up the wage bill, right? And last comment, Valentino Singh, good evening all. Good evening to you as well, Valentino. Right? We're coming on to the last 5 to 10 minutes of the United Hour, and the question on the table: who would you like to see United bring in January? Right? I can start with you, Dion. You itching.
Declan Rice and Neves.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Do you think those are realistic, in your opinion?
I think Neves is realistic, and I think anybody's realistic. Christy,
in my opinion, I don't think United will bring in both. And in my opinion, also David Moyes and West Ham are looking to play Champions League football next season. So us taking Declan Rice from them, they will probably go back to that 120 million or 100 million, saying, you know what, if you want him,
how much is Declan Rice making? How much is Declan Rice making at West Ham?
I'm not sure.
The value for Declan Rice is 100 million. I don't know how much Declan Rice making, but the reason I could see us going for Declan Rice or anybody this summer for one reason and one reason only.
This summer or this winter?
Because of the amount the amount of players that are going to be leaving the club is going to free up a lot of wages. And because of those wages being freed up, I could see the club literally buying anybody. Because from a business standpoint, it come like you're investing in an asset. And you have these other assets that you're writing off. And you're seeing more money available to sustain this asset for the 5 years. Because that's the model that they would use. They would use a business model and play as assets. So from that standpoint, we could pay, the maths would work out from the Glazer standpoint to pay $100 million for Declan Rice.
No, I don't want us go too deep into it. I just want to know who would you like to see at Manchester United this
year. The man said Declan Rice and Basuma. That's who you said, or Neves?
Neves.
No, I said we got Neves.
Neves. You know who I would like to see? I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who played for Leipzig, the player that
Kaidara?
Yeah. The player that Ralph would have bought for that club, and who Ralph knows and who understands Ralph's system. At the point right now, I just want players, system players. Yeah, I just want system players. And players who are willing to put in a shift. No, I hear you. I hear that. But that's who I would like to see. Not because they're cheap or anything, but just because they're gonna come and they're gonna have an idea of what is expected of them already.
Okay. I'll give my take, right? I'm gonna call 3 or 4 players, right? Christian is saying West Ham trying to tie Rice to a new contract, but he has refused. Okay.
Rice already say he's not signing a new contract.
Well, that's interesting though. If Rice goes to Chelsea, who's shipping out of that midfield? Jorginho, Kovacic? I know Saul hasn't hit the ground.
Where's the deal? Yeah, where's the deal with that room? The deal with that rumor is that Declan Rice used to support Chelsea and
Yeah.
supports Chelsea
His
even now.
parents
He
as
grew up
well.
supporting Chelsea. So
Yeah.
he would like
Yeah.
to go to Chelsea. If Chelsea come
His
calling,
boyhood club.
he will more than willingly go. That being said, if Chelsea does not come calling and Manchester United comes calling, he's not going to turn Manchester United down. So there
Yeah.
is no solidness to that rumor from Chelsea's standpoint.
And
Chelsea
they don't need
kind
him.
of flirts. Well,
They
they
need a
don't need him now,
striker. They
but
need
who
a
knows what
striker
they will do in the summer?
right now.
No, I
They
will.
need a striker right now.
I will give you who I would like. And don't get me wrong, Ruben Neves and Basuma are good calls because I actually would like to see one of them. If not, um, I would like to see. No, a lot of people are talking about Dennis Zakaria. I've been calling up for his name for the last probably 2 years now, right? Dennis Zakaria contract runs in 6 months. I don't want to wait till 6 months. I want him now. I don't want to wait till 6 months because that means he can negotiate with anybody that he
He can negotiate with
when he's a
anybody
free
now.
agent, right? I don't want him having so many options. I want the only option to be Manchester United, right? Another person I would go for is Tariq Lamptey, who is the right back at Brighton. I would definitely like to see him
Ramsey
as
looks
well,
impressive.
too, right? So for me, Lamptey, Zakaria, and I definitely agree with either Basuma or Neves as the still good but cheaper options than Declan Rice, right? That's just me,
What are your thoughts on
right?
Haaland?
Shh. Dion, I'm gonna read something to you, right? I'm gonna read something to you with regards to Haaland, right? That I shared to the group earlier today, right? And this is with regards to if PSG wants Haaland, right? Just give me a minute here.
And that
Where
is
is
in the
that one?
summer. That is not even now.
Well, while we're at
We
it,
have like three
anybody in the
we
comments
losing
can
three forwards. We losing three forwards this summer, right? From the look of stuff, Cavani, Martial, well two. And well Christie up in the air. Because I'm not sure if it's a 1 year contract he did. So we
This
potentially
guy
losing three
Alvarez that we
forwards
linked
this
with
year.
from Argentina,
yeah
he
from River
looks
Oh,
he
Plate.
the
looks
young guy.
promising. But
Oh
again,
gosh,
Yeah.
I mean the fact that we don't have Edward what there
We
is
have
good
Philander.
because it means that we're not necessarily going to go
We
for
have
the next
Anthony
new shiny
Lambert.
toy, and we will buy real footballers.
And next,
right? No,
what's Fletcher doing
I have this
in the
I
technical
have this
area?
here, right? I have this here about Erling Haaland, right? Now
Yeah.
hear this, right? And anybody in the comments can comment on this as well too, right? And this is with regards to PSG if they want Erling Haaland. If PSG want to sign Erling Haaland this summer, they'll need to pay 75 million, obviously to Borussia Dortmund, plus 20 million to Mino Raiola, plus 20 million to Erling Haaland's father, as well as 30 to 35 million yearly wage over a 6-year contract, which means that the total will be 300 million for Erling Haaland. I repeat, 75 million to Dortmund, 20 million to Mino Raiola, 20 million to his father, and then a 30 to 35 million yearly wage over the next 6 years. That's how much it's going to take to
That's
pride.
110 million. That's 110 million. That's 110 million up front. In the back end, the back end is the back end. That's 110 million. It's sounding dramatic, but I'm a finance person, so that's 110 up front.
I gotta ask Christian
That's
something though, with
easy.
regards to, and I assume he's talking about Calvin Phillips from Leeds, right? Do you see
Yeah, most
Leeds?
likely.
Do you see
Yeah.
Leeds letting go somebody to a rival like Man United? And don't get me wrong, I know it has happened in the past, like Cantona and also Ferdinand. I know it has happened in the past, but in today's world of football, do
I
you
I
see
think it
Leeds letting
can for
go?
the simple reason that
We give them James.
if
We
Leeds
sold
if
them
Leeds
James.
survive, if Leeds survive, they they can get money for a player, and I think they would take that money. Leeds doesn't look at Manchester United as a rival at this point in time. Right now, Leeds
They
studying
can't.
survival.
They can't.
They're not studying rivalry because
Yeah.
they're not very
It's not
sure about
rival, not
remaining in the Premier League
rival.
this season. And I think they'll be more concerned about
Yeah,
using that money to show up their issues for next season. Because right now, Leeds look toothless. They have no kind of
yeah,
quality up front.
Clive is saying that remember we had
yeah.
Elanga.
Ilanga.
True. Yep, I definitely agree. Christian is saying Cavani,
Leeds missing
Martial,
Bamford
Jesse,
bad.
Ronaldo, tentative could be leaving. It's good you say Ronaldo tentative,
Yeah.
right? Because I could tell you straight up, I can't see Cristiano Ronaldo playing Europa League. That's all I can
Yeah,
see. Right?
plain and simple.
Cristiano,
I
you
don't
can't
think
you
he
can't
would stay
you can't
if he
put
don't
you
make top
can't put
four.
Mr. Champions League in the Europa League. That's all they gotta say. Right? I'm gonna go through a
Well, if
few
he
more comments. I
stays at the
hope
club, but sets out all Europa League games, like literally, like he stays at the
that's
club
that would
and
be
sets
ego.
out.
That would be ego. That would be ego. That's all I can say, right? Martin Phillip is saying, I hope City do not get him. And I think Martin is probably talking about Declan Rice, maybe. But Martin and City got
Now
City.
Ronaldo.
What do you mean? No, but we have Ronaldo. Of
I
course
think
City is
what
going
you
to get
know,
him.
Yeah, but if Ronaldo
yeah.
leaves because of Champions League or a lack of Champions League on our part,
Ronaldo will not do that.
Okay.
Ronaldo will not do that. Like I said before the summer ended, before when Fabrizio Romano was talking about George Mendes talking to City, I said Ronaldo would have to spend more money on his security team if he goes to Manchester City. Okay. I get in one more comment from Christian Dalrymple. Yes, we can get him, but I figure it would be in the summer. However, I think he signed a new contract with Leeds. Okay. Well, and then again, it
That's
always
correct.
depends on the ambition as well, too, right? Because the likes of Patrick Bamford may want to pay for a bigger team. Rafinha, Calvin Phillips may want to play Champions League, right?
well,
So,
we already hearing that Rafinha might be on
Yeah.
his way to Germany to Bayern Munich.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That would be
That's a very
quite.
strong rumor out there right now that
So
Bayern
Martin
Munich
is so,
interested
but
in Rafinha.
He's
all
on a
three of us
major
are wrong.
run.
He's talking about Erling Haaland.
Oh, he hopes that
Oh,
City don't get
oh,
Haaland.
Okay. I hope City don't get it either, because if City gets Erling
that's it.
Haaland,
Yeah.
I already. Look, I not gonna lie. If City get Erling Haaland, then EPL is the new Bundesliga. I'm sorry, it's a new Bundesliga. It's just Man City, and then the other idiots
Nah,
come
but
vying for second place, right? So, um,
hats off to them and their succession planning and the way they manage their club.
Oh,
I know
okay.
in a lot of
Well,
our
I'm glad to
supporters
hear
out there
that.
hear me saying it. No, hats
yeah,
off,
one
like
thing.
the way they operate. You know how I feel about Pep Chad, right? And see the backroom staff, how they manage there. I ain't gonna go too much into it. This is a Manchester United show. But it shows that just right across the road, they were the noisy neighbors. Now they are the club. They are the club, and it's in every ways and players and performances and structure. I mean, every year they have a
Well,
big player leaving.
hope I am
Every year.
hoping. I am hoping that with Arnold taking over, and he's not just taking over Edward Wood's responsibility. He's taking over more on the commercial side, and the likes of Murta and Ralph, which is why Ralph is supposed to be transitioning into the administration in the summer. Where we have more football oriented people running the football side. Hopefully, Manchester United would finally right the wrongs of the past 13 years, right? Because that is why City, do you think, people in positions of authority at City are football people? People making football
Yeah,
decisions are
the same
football
backs.
people,
Yeah, the same
Same here.
backroom
right?
staff from
And
Barcelona.
from
The
manager
same
to
backroom
all the
staff
way
from
down. So
Barcelona.
let's hope that
Yeah.
we could finally follow that kind of model and it'll bring success. I am very happy to have Ralphie. I think that's one of the best decisions Manchester United board has made
Yeah.
since Alex Ferguson has
Mm-hmm.
left. The best decision.
Yeah.
Get somebody with a football in mind to come and make footballing decisions. Because I really not sold on Motor, to be honest. But moving along.
All right, guys. It has definitely been a very informative and very interesting podcast. Any closing thoughts from you guys? I'll start with you, Dion. Any closing
Well,
thoughts?
you had to do the Booboo and the top shot of the week, Phil.
Oh yeah. True. Totally forgot about that. All right, we can spend the next 2 to 3 minutes talking about Booboo Man and Top Shotter of the Week. Now, for anybody who is now tuning in, I don't know if Dion knows, but the Booboo Man of the Week is the guy, and it doesn't have to be Man United related. It could be football related, could be a team, could be a coach, could be a club. They are the Booboo Man of the Week. This is the entity, the club, the person, the football player, the coach, the manager who is having a shitty week. They did not play well. They're being laughed at. No, but everybody's laughing at them. That's the Booboo Man of the Week. The top shot of the week is the man who is walking in like Conor McGregor with his chest held high. I am the man. I performed well this week, right? I can start. I can start off first, as in, I'll give my Booboo Man of the Week and my top shot of the week, right? So my Booboo Man of the Week, believe it or not, is Manchester United. They are my Booboo Man of the Week for the performance they put down versus Wolves. That was an absolute shaving cream show, right? I'm totally disappointed, right? So Manchester United Football Club, they are my Booboo Man of the Week. My top shotter of the week, I had two. One from Manchester United, as in Phil Jones. And to make that appearance after 707 days, I applaud him, right? And he did play well. But my
Namesake.
my main top shotter,
Namesake.
who? I would say my main top
I said
shotter.
namesake. Full.
Yeah. Namesake. Yeah, big Phil Jones, right? But my top shotter of the week, my main top shotter of the week has to go to João Moutinho, who came into Old Trafford and silenced the Old Trafford fans, silenced them late in the game. Old Trafford was quiet after João Moutinho's goal. And for you to do that away from home in front of 70,000 plus fans, that is a top shotter move. So my top shotter is João Moutinho, and my Booboo Man is Manchester United. Since Dion is new to the show, I'm going to give him some time. So I give President Chad the floor next.
Yeah, well, I felt like it peered into my brain because my Booboo Man is Manchester United as well. But for different reasons, though. I mean, Wolves haven't scored many goals. The past 6 games, I think they only scored twice. But what they have not been doing is haven't allowed many goals either. So it was always going to be a low scoring affair with Wolves. So I could see the team losing. Yeah, the team played badly, but I could see us losing to Wolves. Um, what is unacceptable for me is what we were talking about before. Players having problems with coming to training for 8 hours a day. Players complaining about reaching home when it's dark. I mean, and the kind of wages they getting. And we have to remember it's Christmas time, so the place gets dark faster, right? So normal working people don't reach home after 6. You special, right? You supposed to reach home at lunchtime on all that money and playing all that crap. I mean, if you're playing well, I could understand it telling Ralph, we have this, we don't need what you know what I mean. But you can't be playing crap and then you sour. Manchester United players right now are like they coming across like petulant children. Anthony Martial, you don't even want to try. A new manager, new system, now ready to buzz the tape. I got. You know what I mean? It just seems to me the players, not the club, but the players of Manchester United right now are just boo-boo men of the week. They just failure.
So
My top shot of the week.
Yep.
My top shot of the week right now is Pochettino.
Okay.
because 2 months ago, Pochettino was people were like, yeah, this man doing crap at PSG. We don't want this man at Manchester United. And people may still be of that view. I am of that view. I don't want Pochettino at Manchester United. However, Pochettino now has PSG flying. PSG is ripping it up. They look good. They got through. They survived the group stages of Champions League, and they actually started to look like a team that could genuinely challenge for Europe. So I have to say hats off to Pochettino because at one point he was looking like PSG might have tell him bust the tape. And right now, that is not the case. Pochettino is a man flying high right now, and his stock is high to the point where I am hearing that he has re-emerged within Manchester United board circles as the top candidate. He had kind of diminished, and we were more looking at Ten Hag. Now I'm hearing that he is re-emerged as one of the top candidates for the job. So from that perspective, I had to say that Mauricio Pochettino is the top Shotta of the league to me.
Before I go to Dion, I could just read this comment. Booboo of the week is that portion of Manchester United squad that lacks hunger, and top Shotta would be Lukaku. That is very interesting, I must say. Right? Yeah, Dion, so top Shotta and Booboo.
Clive Jack had a lot of wonderful points this evening. Thanks for sharing, buddy.
Yeah.
Booboo man, I was looking for a coin, but I didn't find any to put Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka on it and see, just flip it and see. But I think if I had a coin, it would land on the sharp side. So
yeah.
I'll give it to both of them. Harry Maguire, our club captain, our skipper, and Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka with those crosses.
Yeah, boy.
That cross where Christy saved the ball from going outside. They have like 3 people flooding the box, and the man really killed. He almost killed the advertisement board, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could have put in a better cross than that, for sure. And I wasn't that good. I used to get, I saw one. Right? And my top Shotta, I would say, and only because I know a lot of people who are supporters of that club, I feel sorry for them all the time because they are underachievers. But Mikel Arteta, just like what Chad said about Podge, seeing that the club stood by him, and they're actually seeing a brand. They're seeing like Tiki Taka. Even hearing that City looking at him as a success.
They're playing youth. It's not just what they're doing, but how they're doing it.
And they're playing youth. Look, I didn't even know. I just missed Bellerin. I don't know where he gone. I didn't even know he not there. I don't know what happened to him. You understand? And he's playing youth soccer. I saw they had a play out from the back where the keeper played it. He almost lost the ball, and they just bam, 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 bam to Saka, bam on top the box to Lacazette. And I was like, wow, I'm seeing identity. So to the few people that I know really believe in Arsenal, I think he's my top Shotta. That, Mikel
Arteta? Okay. No, good shouts for good shouts for Booboo Man and top Shotta of the week. Closing thoughts, guys, before we end the program.
I think we had asked earlier in the program if we drop Cristiano Ronaldo for the rest of the month. If it is, we'd see better performances. Right now, Manchester United for me is like a man on an operation table, and his heart is not beating, and they have to hit him electric shocks. And every time he get a shock, they get a little bleep on the machine, and it seemed like he coming. Ole's firing was a shock, and the result of that shock was 60 minutes of excellent pressing football after one training session that we
Correct.
haven't seen since, right?
No.
So we need another shock. And there are two shocks I think would be significant. One is dropping Cristiano Ronaldo, not for a FA Cup game, but for a Premier League game, right? Telling him, hey, rock bench. I think that will be a shock that I think will get a reaction. How long? Whether it's just a blip, how long I don't know, but it'll get a reaction. And the other thing is sacking Harry Maguire. I am of the firm belief that the day Harry Maguire is dropped as captain, Manchester United are going to run out there and play their heart out. Because for some reason, these are the kind of things that these players respond to. So we need some kind of shocks at Manchester United. I don't just think, talking to these guys and, being nice and bringing in new young players and either that, those two things, or maybe selling, getting rid of 6 players in January, something. These players need shocks.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester United is on the operating table, and it is on the verge of flatlining.
Turn up the charge on the defibrillator then.
Yeah, if we don't get shocked, we are going to continue to play horrible football for the rest of the season. And that's just my opinion.
Dion, closing thoughts?
Yeah, you stole some of the words right out of my mouth, Chad. I would say, if you look at it from a business standpoint, who wants to be here, and who doesn't want to be here, you're all gonna go free anyway. So let me see if I can get a 20 million for it just to prove a point. The Pogbas of the world, which I love. The Jesse, anyone who has a contract in front of them and choose not to sign it and run it down, you know what? All look, 10 million, 5 million, 20 million, 50 million, let me sprang
2 million
and get something just to let that nobody bigger than the club. No man is bigger than the club. Right? You have a man like Phil Jones, who we guys make fun of Phil Jones all the time. Right? But in the picture, they say a picture tells 1,000 words. I don't know if I get it straight or if I botch the statement. But in that picture, I saw little boys walked out onto the field, their head down, and someone in the group said it. This was like, these guys getting paid so much money, and they came out. They lost the game. They lost that game before they went out on the pitch. So, in my closing statement, I would like to have a team, a functioning team. I don't want to have who is this and who is that. I would like to have a functioning team that's operating under a system to have a proper identity. And if that means selling people and bringing people to fit that team, or elevating or promoting people to fit that team, I rather we have that, because the direction my club going is not the best direction. That's my final statement. Phil Jones played for the badge that day. He had a point to prove. Yeah. And Phil Jones assisted the winning goal, no. But everybody looked past that because of how he played his heart out.
True.
Phil Jones had just because of that. As a defender, you want to head the ball out of the box, which is what he did. Yeah. And where was Matic and Scott? They're supposed to be closing down the man who coming in, and Scott was ball watching and late on the tackle to Martinez. So yes, Phil Jones got the assist, but you can't really blame Phil Jones for that.
All right, guys. Well, I could give my closing comments. Guys, and I could keep it short and simple. You play for the badge at the front, and the fans will remember the name at the back. Plain and simple, right? This has been the United Hour on a Thursday. Thank you, President Chad. Thank you, Dion, and I am Big Phil, and we are out.
Hey, if you appreciate
what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.